Recording.
I had resumed it. I just stopped and started it fresh.
Right. So Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening to everyone. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Hope you had a great weekend and excited to be back. I'm always happy to be back. Look forward to this session resuming and getting back into the routine, the wonderful routine that we have. So let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru like we always do. So I'll share my screen and we will get underway. Yes, sec. Are you able to see it okay?
Yes,
Okay.
Nitin.
We'll do our opening prayers and then we'll get started. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Amsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay, so Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome again. So let's get started. Today we are going to pick up a new shloka because we are on chapter 4th and we are doing it one shloka at a time. So we move on to the next one after the discussion, extended discussion that we had on 4.27. Let's move on to 4.28. I'm going to recite it, and like always, you're welcome to follow along. Dravya yajnastapo yajna yoga yajnastatha pare स्वाध्याय ज्ञान यज्ञाश्च यतय संशितव्रताः. Okay, let's take a few hands.
Radhe Radhe Shyamji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Dravya yajnastapo yajna yoga yajnastha pare swadhyaya yajna jnana yajnascha yataya sanchita vrata. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice, thank you. Shyamji, Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Falguni ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Dravya yagnas tapo yagna yoga yagnas tatapare swadhyaya gnana yagnasha cha yataha sanchita vrataha. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice, thank you. Falguni ji, Radhe Radhe.
Pragi ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Radhe Radhe. Dravya yajnastapo yajna yoga yajnasta tatha pare swa adhyaye ज्ञान यज्ञाश्च yatte shanshit vrata. I think so. Tone missed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go ahead next. Dravya yajnastapo yajna yoga yajnastha pare swadhyaya jnana yajnascha yatayah sanchita vrataha.
Very nice, thank you. So let's get started. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying, some offer their wealth as sacrifice, while others offer severe austerities as sacrifice. Some practice the eightfold path of yogic practices, and yet others study the scriptures and cultivate knowledge as sacrifice while observing the strict vows. Okay, let's move on. So let's get started. So by the way, first of all, a very happy Navratri to all of you. It is the festival of the Adi Shakti, which is Mother Durga. Mother Durga is the governor or the divine mother who is in charge of this material universe. Okay. So this is a festival which is celebration of victory of good over evil. And as the legend goes, today was the day after a 9-day of fierce battle. There was a demon which is called Mahishasur, buffalo demon as well, who was killed by Mother Durga on this day, Vijayadashmi. And it's celebrated as a victory of good over evil. And that demon was slain, who was troubling the Devi Devatas. And that's why we celebrate this festival. Now, Mother Durga, as we have seen, the Shakti-Shaktiman Sambandh, right, between the God and the energies itself. And both are inseparable. Both are inseparable. So when we talk about different gods or their forms, they are all the same. We have spoken about this concept as well. We should not differentiate or discriminate that one is higher, other is different, this is different. Not at all. They are all the same. They are just the different forms of basically different forms of the same entity. Similar, the Shakti aspect of it is also the same. Like, for example, Mother Durga, Parvati, Sita, Radha, they are all the same. They are just in different moods. Like Mother could be in different moods. Sometimes she might be in loving mood. Sometimes she might be in an official mood. So Durga is her official mood, right? When she has to take care of governing this universe, taking care of the miscreants or the demons that come. Radha is the loving form. But this Navaratri festival is devoted to celebrating her victory over Mahishasur. Now, if you look at it, who are these demons? Even in Bhagavad Gita, if we spoke, in the previous verses, if you look at it, when Arjun refers to Krishna, he's referring to him with different names. And same thing Krishna does during the entire length of dialogue that is unfolding between the two. They are referring to each other with different names as well. And they're very contextual. And one of the names that Arjun has referred to Krishna as is Madhusudan. Madhusudan is because he slayed a demon called Madhu. Now, a demon is referred to as a symbolic of doubt. When you have a doubt in your mind, people who are seeking, and if they have a doubt, and that doubt does not get resolved, it gets energized over time, and it becomes like a demon. So that needs to be slayed with proper knowledge at proper time, and then your journey will start unfolding. So it's very important to get our doubts resolved. Right? God had said that there are 4 kinds of people who actually approach him. Which were those 4? Anybody remembers that? Jigyasu, Arto, Arti, and Jnani. And one of them is a seeker, somebody who's curious to know about the deeper principles of life. They are actually aligning to the purpose of this creation, because the very first commandment in our Vedanta Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now that you are born as a human, go ahead and seek answers to the deeper questions of life. Who are you? Who is God? Who created this world? And what is your relationship with God? And what is the purpose of life? So it's very important to have that, because now you are actually rising above the primal instincts which even animals have. What are those primal instincts? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So we should not be limiting our lives now that we are born as a human, endowed with intellect, to these 4 activities alone. So seeking is extremely important. And only when we seek, then it opens up the arms, basically the grace of God. Knock, knock is always happening. And then our doubts, they start getting resolved. So Mother Durga slayed the demon this day. And when we read Bhagavad Gita, we are also slaying the demons, taking help from Lord Krishna, because we are reading this beautiful message that he imparted 5,000 years ago, and it is going to resolve all the doubts gradually over a period of time. So slaying a demon is also symbolic of slaying the doubts that we have on this path. So with that said, let's get started with our today's session. We start with the 3-course meal. We start with the soul soup segment. So what is a soul soup for the day? It's a very interesting topic and just pretty profound as well. When I came across this concept for the first time, sure you're going to love it as well. So it is a success, happiness, and fulfillment series that we are doing. And as that part of this series, today's discussion topic is the world around you your objective or subjective reality? The way you look at the world, are you looking at it objectively or subjectively? This is a very important concept to be understood. Now, this really defines how we perceive things around us. Okay, if we go through this definition of objectivity and subjectivity, there are tons of things. One is fact-based, other is perception-based and all that stuff. But I'll get into more fundamental and deeper definition around it just to drive home the point today. Okay. Now, the external world that we see around us, right, is our objective reality. This is how we look at it, things, right? How we perceive the world, we are looking at it through our lenses, the lenses that we have acquired, right? One of the sessions we did, drishti badle to srishti badle. So that is a similar kind of a concept, but we'll take it from a different angle today as well. Now, for example, let's say we got cheated by 3 attorneys or maybe 3 brokers when we were trying to purchase a property. Then what will happen is we will conclude that all the attorneys and all the brokers, they are cheats. That becomes our reality. Now, is it subjective reality or is it objective reality? You may question. It is a subjective reality. It is not an objective reality. Just because your experience was that, you start painting the whole world like that. Similarly, people, they maintain a gloomy attitude towards life. They choose to see circumstances in their life, different from the way they actually are. And that problem is when the people, they start harboring negativity in any situation. They forget that it is just their subjective reality. It is not their objective reality at all. Others in the same situation may still choose to be cheerful and positive. It is a choice they are making. So they're not able to see things objectively. So their subjective reality becomes their fact. I'll tell you a beautiful story. There was a guy called Suresh and Ramesh. Hopefully we don't have Suresh and Ramesh in our session, okay? Not to call out, I'm just picking out names here, okay? Suresh and Ramesh, they were both actually critically ill patients, and they were both in hospitals. And as they had adjacent beds next to each other. They shared a room and their beds were there next to each other, and they would chat around with each other whenever the time permit. They would talk about their childhood, the school days, professions, wife, children, all that stuff, because they had no other company. And they were bedridden, but for 1 hour a day, Ramesh, he was made to sit up by the nurse to clear out his lungs, fluid from his lungs. And then he would stare out of that. He would get that opportunity to stare out of the window, next to his bed, that he could see Ramesh could see that, Suresh could not. So when he was made to sit up, he would look out of the window, and then he would narrate what he's looking out, while his treatment is going on. And he would talk about the garden and the quaint trees and the benches that he's able to see, and the beautiful flowers and the interesting people who is able to see, and the beautiful fountain that is out there, and the cool waters that are surrounding that, fountain, and the birds that are coming for a visit, and the flower beds that he's seeing, the beautiful roses, tulips, everything. He would do that. So when Ramesh would do that, Suresh would look forward to that, because that was his only mode of knowing anything other than, the bed next to him. So much so that it became a routine. He would look out for that routine every day. And when he would listen to this description, he would brighten up as well. And because otherwise his life was pretty boring, looking at the bed and all the hospital aroma and all that stuff, with the smell of tinctures and the medicines and stuff like that. And Suresh, he would wait for that 1 hour every day. But one day, an evil thought crossed his mind. He said, why does my friend get to enjoy everything? He's enjoying all the loveliness outside world while I am rotting in my bed. So this thought crossed his mind. Now he's saying, why is God benevolent towards him? He's being partial. And then when this thought came to him, it got rooted. That seed was planted already, and gradually he started harboring resentment and hurt around this emotion. And he said, I detest him. He has all the fun. How unfair. Now he started nourishing that thought. And his mental state deteriorated so much that he could not stand the company of his roommate. It came to that stage. Until one night, his friend Ramesh, he started coughing. He started coughing really badly. And although he coughed so much, it was very intense and it was very different. So the best thing for his friend would have been to call up somebody to get help. But what did he do? He said, let him bear this discomfort. Okay. He did not even ring a bell. He did not call for any help, although he had a choice to do that. And after a few while, this guy became silent. Okay. He left his life fears and he was no more. And the silence of the night descended upon the room. And next day, when the attendants discovered the dead body, they removed it. And then he waited for a few days to prevent any suspicion of any, falling on him. And then he said, he made a request to the nurse, then now that this bed is vacated, can you please move me there? So they said, sure, fair enough. This bed is vacated now, you can move there. And then he said, can I sit up for a while like you used to make him sit up? They said, sure. Guess what? When he was made to sit up, when he looks out, what did he see? He was expecting that beautiful garden, fountain, and everything to be seen. But all that he saw was a stark wall of a neighboring building. There was nothing there at all. What is this? He asked the nurse. Nurse said that, there's a large warehouse and that's all it is. That's always been the case here. He said, what is it that my roommate used to describe me? She said it was the beauty of his mind. Okay, not something that is actually existed. So there's a saying in English, two men looked out from the prison bars. One saw the mud, the other one saw the stars. So now the question is, are we looking at mud or are we choosing to look at stars? That choice is always with us. And that is the subjective or the objective reality that we choose for ourselves, and that becomes our reality. Okay. There are people who suffer with this day in and day out, and they don't know how to get out of it. And they keep suffering, and that is because they want to live in their subjective reality. And what happens? Their condition deteriorates, and then it becomes not only a baggage to be carried in this life, but in lifetimes thereafter as well, because this mind of ours is our permanent companion. So this is the key thing. I know I spent a lot more time, but this topic, I can go on for a week on this topic, because even our scriptures say there are two worlds. One is an outer world, which is very objective, and one is the inner world, and which is much more bigger, that we have created for ourselves. The day the inner world is finished, right, when we are purified, everything will fall in place. And that is one of the objectives of spirituality as well. So let's get started with our topic today. Today we are going to talk about, let's get started, tee up this conversation. What is the most fascinating or astonishing thing in this world? Does anybody know? It's not Hawaii or Vegas or any place for that matter, not even Taj Mahal or Great Wall of China. Okay, let's talk about 7 wonders of the world. There's a bigger wonder in this world if you think deeply about it. That is what we're going to talk about. And that wonder is that no matter, every person in this earth, every person on this earth, regardless of which country, caste, creed, nationality, religion they belong to, everybody in this world, they are different and unique. No two people are same, right? It's phenomenal. Even twins, they will have some kind of a difference. You may think that they look same, but they would be different. And I'm in cybersecurity. Our whole industry is based around how to identify somebody uniquely. And biometrics is one of the factors that is being used these days to identify somebody uniquely, because our DNA is unique. In fact, I had one of my seniors in, the Batra brothers, in case you have seen this movie, Paramveer Chakra, you've heard about Vikram Batra, used to be my senior. And he has a younger brother, Vishal Batra. They both look exactly the same, right? And people who have seen them long enough would be able to differentiate, otherwise nobody. In fact, when the movie was being shot, because he was awarded that award posthumously, in the course of the shooting, his younger brother walked into the room of the actor who was playing his role, and he freaked out. He said, how can this guy be real? I'm playing his role. He's no longer there. But the person who walked in was his brother. But the point here is that everybody is unique, even though they may look same, very same, but their DNA, their fingerprints, their retina scans, their body odor, everything is different. Even though so much of variety is created, even though we all have the same skeletal structure, right? And one more fascinating thing is, even though we are all different in our own ways, we still seek one common thing. Can anybody say I'm seeking misery? No, everybody is seeking happiness. That means there is something common denominator amongst ourselves as well. Even though we are all different, we all are seeking happiness right from the moment we are born on this earth. How do we declare it to the world we are seeking happiness? By crying. Crying is also a way of seeking happiness. We declare to the world, I am here to seek happiness. And the reason for that is we are a fragment part of the ocean of bliss, which is God, and we are seeking that happiness. And until we get that happiness, we will never be satisfied. We will keep on craving. We'll keep on craving. It's like, I need more, I need more. And our soul will be satiated only when it gets the bliss of God. And spirituality is our way, or the tools, techniques, the technology. It talks about how do you get closer to that bliss. Yes, Sandhya, you had a question before we proceed further?
Not a question. There were two comments to your question. Like, what is the most fascinating thing in this world?
Okay, sure.
So Shalini ji had said creation, and Kumar ji had said man thinks happiness is in the world.
Yeah, that is kind of a thing, but yeah, it's an astonishing thing. How can so much of variety can get created? If you look at the creation around, God has created, it's a fascinating, even if you look at the birds and the animals. Now, an eagle who takes a flight, 3,000 feet above it can differentiate between a dead rat and a live rat. It just knows, eagle eyes. A dog, its sense of smell is so strong. Right? We know the police, how they utilize them. It can just smell, and it'll never forget that. The pigeon, even before we had our GPS systems, the pigeon, right? There was a movie, Kabutar Ja Ja Ja, if you've heard that song, right? That song would not have come about if God had not created pigeon. Pigeon, the window it flies out of, it can come back no matter where you send it. That much GPS ability it has. So these are all very fascinating things that God has created if you think deeply about it. And the uniqueness in our personalities, each one of us are unique, and yet we all are seeking bliss. This is a very astonishing thing. But God actually not respects him, and it's his creation end of the day, and he knows the interplay of gunas, the tamas, rajas, and sattva gunas play. There are infinite combinations possible, and because of those infinite combinations, there will always be something unique about us at every moment. Okay. That is the beauty of this creation, and because of that, he has given different paths to us. He knows that not everybody will get attracted to one kind of a austerity or the way of seeking, and that is what we are going to talk about today. So to carry the discussion forward, human beings differ from each other, as we have spoken about. Their natures are different, their motivations are different. Right? Different people have different motivations in life to feel happy or to do, right? If you look at it, somebody likes sports, they have extrinsic motivation, some have intrinsic motivation, some like to sleep, some like to water plant, some like to sing, everything. Professions different, aspirations are different, sanskars, tendencies that they carry from past life. There's so much of variety in this world. Now, Lord Krishna, he brings Arjun to the understanding that sacrifices can take on hundreds of forms. But when they are dedicated to God, they become means of purification of the mind and senses and elevation to the soul. Two aspects here. One is, because we are different, we cannot expect everybody will get attracted to one way of performing sacrifices only. That is why he's given so much of variety in our scriptures as well. That is why he's given us so many different paths when we talk about Bhagavad Gita, because we understand the propensities would vary based on so many factors. There is variety, of course, in this world, right? In so many ways. So let's move on and try to understand that now. Now, in this verse, he mentions 3 such yajnas that can be performed based on our propensities. I'm going to elaborate on each one of these today. So the first one is Dravya Yagya. The second one is Yog Yagya. And the third one is Gyan Yagya. These are the three. Let's elaborate a little more. Dravya Yagya, we'll start with that. So people, those who are inclined towards earning wealth and donating it in charity towards a divine cause, they offer what they have earned back to God. Okay, that's how they start. Now, although they may engage in large and complicated business endeavors, yet their inner motivation remains to serve God with the wealth they earn. This is called Dravya Yagya. As the British preacher and the founder of Methodist Church, he instructed his followers. He said that make all you can, save all you can, give all you can. In fact, I have some Mormon friends, no questions asked. 10% of their salary directly goes to their church. Okay, so that much commitment that they have. And this is the starting point, the Dravya Yagya. Even in business, if you look at business also, you have two words, you and I. You comes before I. It's in serving your needs, I will earn it. So it's in serving. I comes after you, and I is even silent. It is not emphasized so much. So when you have a spirit of serving, and then in that process, what you earn, you offer it to God, that is called your Dravya Yagya. And this is a good starting point. And some people actually do it throughout their lives. In fact, our scriptures in Skanda Puran, it says you need to part with 10% of your wealth to keep it pure or to keep it white. We say black money and white money. The one is from a IRS standpoint, what is black, what is white. One is from God's standpoint, what is black, what is white. In order to purify our wealth, we need to offer 10% of it. So there was a beggar actually. He was sitting and he was blind. So he put a board in front of, he was begging. He said, I am hungry, please help me. So occasionally people would come and put some coins here and there, but it's not getting much. And then guy came and he turned his board and wrote something. And after that, his bowl started making noise of coins, and people started putting in money more frequently. And so he realized somebody did something with my board. And he's kept on emptying it, and it was filling up again. He kept on emptying it, filling again. And then this guy comes in the evening. So by his footsteps, he could understand, because people, when one of the senses diminished, their other senses develop more. That is how it is. So he realized it's the same guy who came in, and after which, the money started flowing in. He said, what, are you the same person who wrote something on my board? He said, yes. He said, what did you write? He said, I wrote that it's a beautiful day. You can see, but I cannot. So please help. So when you called upon, something that people are blessed with, which we take for granted, then they get that appreciation. Okay, I have something which others don't have and I can share. So that changed the perspective in people. Even otherwise, there was another beggar. This beggar was sitting and he had nothing to eat until his guy comes. He's a businessman. He's a very rich businessman. He comes, he said, I'm going to give you a deal. So beggar said, what deal? I have nothing. Any deal is fine. He said, no, but I'm going to give you a deal. How about me supplying you corns, you opening a shop and running your business? He said, wonderful, nothing like it, right? That will help me earn my livelihood and much more. But why would you help me? What is the underlying thing? He said, but I want you to give me part of it. He said, sure. What part do you need? Do you need 90% and let me keep 10%? He said, no, let's reverse it. You keep 90%, and give the 10% to me. He said, sure, it's a no-brainer. But when the business started flourishing, he was getting cons all free. Then he said, I'm doing the hard work. And then he started becoming hesitant to offer that 10% as well. And same thing starts happening with us as well. All the faculties, everything is given to us by God. And when he says, give me the 10%, we say, no, we have a little bit of trouble. So that's why our scriptures say the 10% rule is for your benefit only. Because when you do that, you're not only purifying your wealth, but also inculcating the spirit of sacrifice, which is called Dravya Yagya. And if you do that, it will gradually start purifying you. So this is the first category of Yagya that people do who understand and subscribe to this principle. The next one is, so Yoga Darshans. We have the Yoga Darshans. There are 6 Yoga Darshans. Maharshi Jamini, then Vedvyas, then Maharshi Gautam, Maharshi Khanad. So I'll not get into the details of that, but the one which is most popular is the Patanjali Yoga Darshan. So people who follow the path of Ashtanga Yoga, they like those mechanical practices. So they follow that path and keep basically progressing spiritually, where their aim is to become one with the Paramatma aspect, the super soul aspect of it. So they enjoy that. You tell them to sit in bhajans, they'll say, no, that my heart doesn't move if you make me sit in bhajans. You tell them read scriptures, they say no, but if you ask them to do mechanical practice, that is very, very satisfying for them, and that is all dictated by their past sanskars. Maybe that's what they started doing in. But finally, even on this path, Maharshi Patanjali has said it 3 times in Patanjali Yoga Sutra: Ishvara Paridhanat. Finally, you have to surrender to God. So, and eventually, you have to mix devotion in this path as well to reach the peak of yoga as well, Ashtanga yoga as well. So this is the second kind of austerity you can perform, right? I have spoken about Patanjali Yoga Sutra. This becomes your sacrifice, those austerities that you perform, because people enjoy that. Enjoy in the sense that it becomes part of their routine. In fact, severe austerities, when you that also is a big hook people develop. They just like doing that austerities. I think Swamiji in one of his lectures has told that in Yamunotri, where the Yamuna river comes from, it's a place which requires a 7-hour climb, and you need to either walk all the way up or take donkeys all the way up, and then you have to come back the same day, because nobody can stay there. And the environment there is not conducive for humans to survive. So you have to go and come back the same day. And then they said they actually undertook that. And then when they came back down at the cliff, there were some Babas who were staying there and performing austerities for so many years. And Yamuna, I think, is a daughter of sun god. So there is a Yamuna, there's a Kund also. Kund means a hot geyser there as well. And people, they take rice, put it in that geyser, cook it and eat it. That is how they survive. So those are also austerities they have undertaken. They just like those austerities. So some people take yogic path to achieve strive towards enlightenment and the purification of their antakaran just by performing severe austerities. That is also a choice based on our past sanskars. Some people get attracted towards that path as well. So that is the second kind of sacrifice. You go to Himalayas. In fact, if you have read the book Journey Back Home, it talks about there are so many people who are performing austerities and penances in those Himalayas and the forests there. And are they punishing themselves? No, they just like it the way. And when people get into those transcendental states, they can sit in air and all that stuff. They enjoy that path. And Lord Krishna says that's sure enough. That's fine based on your propensities. If that is the path, that is fine as well. But the key here to note is no matter which path you pick, finally you have to mix devotion with it. So why not start building it ground up itself? Why wait until you reach the peak of your path and then you realize, what, devotion is something I need to mix for my devotion to culminate or to fructify. So let's build it ground up itself. So this is the yogic path. And the third one, okay, now in the yogic path as well, if you look at the JK Yoga part of it, we mix devotion. That is where even the yogic postures that we do it with the remembrance of God. So for example, the breathing techniques as well, if you have done, any one of you have done the Prem Yoga course, 200 hours online course, which is going on right now, or 40 hours training that you do, if you look at it, the core of even yogic practices, the name of God is incorporated in that. So when you breathe in, you say Radhe. When you breathe out, you say Sham. So that essence is not lost even when you are doing the yogic postures. So it's a very, very powerful way of it. Integrating yoga with in your life, especially if that path attracts you, but not missing out on the devotional aspect of it, because finally you have to mix devotion no matter which path you pick up. And then the third one is Gyan Yajna. Some people like to, right? What we are doing right now is also a Gyan Yajna. Cultivation of knowledge that we do is also a Gyan Yajna. In fact, when we read Bhagavad Gita with faith and reverence, Lord Krishna describes it as an intellectual sacrifice. That is also an austerity you are taking up. Why? Because now you're subscribing to divine knowledge and you're putting your intellect, okay, I'm going to gain wisdom from this and I'm going to put my faith on God's word. And which is a huge thing. So Lord Krishna says that it is also an intellectual sacrifice. But the key here in Gyan also is that, okay, cultivation of knowledge should lead to love for God. If that aspect is missed, then it becomes a mechanical drill only. It becomes intellectual gymnastic only. That is not taking us much far. Okay, and we need to be very cautious about one of the pitfalls of this path, which is called Shastra Vasana. That means you are obsessed with gaining knowledge. That's about it, not about implementing or cultivating love for God. So let's keep a periodic check on ourselves. Is the knowledge leading me to develop more love and faith for God? If the answer is yes, sure enough, keep on inculcating it more. If the answer is no, some course correction is needed. Right? There was a boy who was being given birthday presents, so people came with nice gifts and wrappers, and he was looking at each of the gift, and his eyes were widening. He was getting excited until a monk came and he gave him a very rugged piece of box, and he said, "Okay, here's your gift." And he had absolutely no interest in looking at it. So what kind of a gift it is? Right? So no attraction towards the box that this monk had given him, until somebody opened it for him, and it saw a brick, diamond studded brick in it. Now when he saw a diamond studded brick in it, immediately his heart swelled with love for that particular gift. What happened? The knowledge that something valuable is there automatically resulted in love. And that is how knowledge needs to be. Okay? So knowledge leads to love. That is the true test of the knowledge that we are acquiring. Till the time he had no knowledge, he had absolutely no feeling for it. The moment the knowledge came, the love automatically came. So knowledge that we are acquiring is good, but it should lead to love for God. Like it says, right, in Ramayana, yoga kuyog jnana jnana jehnahi ram prem pardhana. That yoga is kuyog and that jnana is agyan, which is not leading you to develop love for God. That is the key thing. Essence is to develop love for God. And if it takes you closer to that, sure, that practice is good. But some people like to accumulate knowledge by understanding the Tattva Gyan and who is God and what is our relationship. And same thing goes with God. When we understand God's value, that He's the one who's the basis of our life here. He's the one who's endowed us with all these faculties. He's the one who's actually giving us multiple opportunities as human to perfect ourselves and get His true inheritance, which is perfect love, perfect bliss, everlasting bliss, and perfect knowledge. So when that understanding is going to deepen, it should result in love automatically. It's just a natural consequence of it. So this is the third path that we spoke about, which brings us to a question. Okay, before I get into the question, how much knowledge is needed to end our, is necessary to progress spiritually? This is a question I'll pose, but before I pose this question, anybody has a question on what we have spoken about so far? Because I've spoken a lot today. I'll take a quick pause now. Then drop silence, and one person will raise the hand and then 4 or 5 will come. I know that's going to happen. Any question from anyone? I know we covered a lot. Yes,
Lakshmi,
go ahead, please.
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, would you please explain the second one? Yoga Yajna is the following that 8 methods to increase our love and bhakti to God. What are those 8 things? Yoga Yajna, second.
Ashtanga Yoga you're talking about? Which one?
No, the previous. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, so it is Ashtanga Yoga. It is also a path, spiritual advancement. It starts with physical techniques, and then it is the conquest of the mind, where you tone or tame your mind at the end of it. And this is called Ashtanga Yoga. So it has these 8 limbs, so to say: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. Finally, you become, Samadhi. But in order for you to reach that stage, you have to surrender to God finally. So this is also a yogic practice, which is called Ashtanga Yoga practice. some people are attracted towards it as well. So that is why I'm saying there are three kinds of yajna. This is the yoga yajna, and they offer this austerity to God. So Krishna is explaining the variety in which people perform austerities or sacrifices. So this is one of those parts as well. Makes sense? Okay, sorry. You are unmuted now, Lakshmi.
Yeah, thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Okay. Okay, so now for if you're not having a question, is Harshi, please go ahead.
Yes, Harsh Kumar Pathak ji, Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे मैडम। मैडम मैं ये पूछ रहा था कि इसमें लिखा हुआ था कि कृष्ण जी ने बोला है कि पहले गुरु की पूर्ण दीक्षा ले लेनी चाहिए ये सब करने से पहले, ऐसा बताया हुआ था श्लोक में। तो वो कौन सा दीक्षा का बात कर रहे थे कि ये योग में थोड़ा खतरा हो सकता है, जो कह रहे थे ना कि संयम करके और कुछ तप यज्ञ की बात कर रहे थे, तो कह रहे थे कि इसमें कुछ खतरा भी हो सकता है ऐसा करके, और कह रहे थे कि पहले गुरु की संपूर्ण दीक्षा ले लेनी चाहिए। तो कौन सा दीक्षा की बात कर रहे थे?
आप किसने कहा गुरु की दीक्षा ले लेनी चाहिए? For the benefit of people who cannot understand Hindi, I think the question that Harsh is saying that we need to take initiation from Guru before we pick up any path. My question is that who is saying that basically? Let's talk about a little bit about that as well. So Harsh जी आपको ये किसने कहा कि दीक्षा पहले लेनी चाहिए फिर हमें करना चाहिए?
आपकी आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही है।
Your audio is not proper, Harshi. You may want to check your audio. Okay, let me anyways touch upon this concept. Some people think that getting a formal initiation is needed for us to embark on the journey of spirituality. Okay, so I would have tackled this question. I would tackle this question in more detail when we get to 4.34, which is the shloka which talks about the concept of Guru itself, where Arjun poses this question to Krishna, and Krishna says that tad viddhi pranipaten pariprashnena sevaya, that you approach a spiritual master, put your intellect at his feet, render service to him submissively, and then he shall impart this knowledge to you. Now the question is, one of the things that especially in India or Bharat, people think that you need to get a diksha, then your spiritual journey will unfold. Okay, diksha, initiation, or some mantra in your ear, okay, that is a prerequisite for you to get started on this path. The answer is you don't need that to get started on this path. If you have built a connect with a guru and you have accepted them in your heart that okay, I am aligning to their teachings, that's it. The connection is established already. Diksha is just a formality. When you are ready, Guru can give it to you any moment, and that should result in God realization. That mantra doesn't mean that you just hold on to that and nothing happens. It's more of a formality. In fact, it is like this. Let's try to understand this. When you build a house, you do all the wirings and everything, and then the electricity connection is given. You don't first get the electricity connection and then start building the house. Similarly, getting that connection is the diksha or the initiation part of it, right? That can happen when your vessel is prepared, okay, towards the end, not necessarily at the beginning. If it helps, sure, if somebody's saying that, but that's not a prerequisite of diksha. But yes, in order for you to progress spiritually, you definitely need a spiritual master. That is true, because if you start to understand it on your own, you may even get confused. Scriptures are so vast and they could be contradicting to each other. So this has to be done under the expert guidance of a guru only. Otherwise, there is a big risk. You may even become an yourself and may even end up doing spiritual transgressions, because the deeper things you will not be able to understand. How many of us knew that Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, Lord Shiva, they are all the same, and we should not be differentiating between them? Because if we were, it is called a spiritual transgression. Same thing goes with the Shakti aspect as well. So there are so many things in ignorance we will keep on doing, keep on thinking, which can put our spiritual journey back. So it's important to approach a spiritual master. How to get one? How do you know whether you found one? That's a topic in itself. We'll talk about it and when we get into 4.34. But it's important to find bona fide source of knowledge and subscribe to it, as opposed to experimenting on your own. And if we haven't, we still keep praying to God and do the best that we can. But getting an initiation is not needed for you to keep exploring spiritually, because God is seated within. He knows when is the right time to lead you to the right guru. So it will happen in due course of time, but initiation is not a prerequisite for you to make a guru. If that was what your question was, Harshi.
Okay, I guess he got. हर्ष जी हम आपको सुन नहीं पा रहे हैं. I guess आप या तो चैट में लिख दीजिए.
You can type on chat, Harshi, or you may want to rejoin because your audio is just not clear.
Okay, and there are a few comments in the chat if I can quickly read, Nitin ji.
Sure, and please fill out the feedback tracker if you have questions that we haven't picked up. So please do that as well. But let's read out the comments and then we can move forward.
Right. So Sudhakar ji says faith is required first. I think in the context of acquiring knowledge, first you need to have
Yes.
right. And
Of course, faith is needed. In fact, people, when they come across this word faith, they say faith is blind. Yeah, faith, there can be blind faith as well, but there can be intelligent faith as well. But the question here is, the bigger question here is, who is not without faith in this world? Everybody is putting faith on something. When you take a flight, you're putting faith that the pilot will do his job properly, right? When you go out on the road, you're driving, you're putting a faith that, I'm not going to run across some weirdo who's going to bang my car. When you go to a restaurant, you put a faith that these guys are not going to poison me. When you go to a barber, you're putting a faith, this guy's not going to cut my neck. Even a scientist is putting a faith on his abilities, that, what they see, what their physical apparatus would tell them is the truth. If nothing, you are putting faith on your own intellectual understanding that I know it all. I have figured it out. Who is without faith? Nobody is without faith. Now, the question is, are you putting faith on things which do not have a firm footing? Or are you putting faith on something which is more intelligent, which is something which is in scriptures? They can be, referenced back to the scriptures. Multiple saints have said it, not one. Multiple saints have said it. And then your guru is also telling you the same. And more importantly, you practice that principle and see the result for yourself. Is it a more intelligent faith or, more blind faith? So faith is needed regardless of what we are doing. But how much knowledge we need is a very little one. We don't need tons of knowledge. We don't need to know the entire scriptures for us to progress spiritually. It unfolds a little bit like this. This person, she has to travel 2 miles in the middle of a night, and she's carrying a lantern which can let her see only 20 feet. What would she do? She doesn't have to see the whole 22 miles. She will see the first 20 feet. That much knowledge is okay. You practice that, you implement that, it will bring in more clarity. You see the next 20, and you finish off the journey. And as opposed to somebody who's always in a doubtful mode, that person is waiting for all the signals to turn green before they'll step out of the house, right? So knowledge not having the knowledge cannot be an excuse for us not to progress spiritually, because even if little knowledge has made sense, you can implement it and take benefit from it. So a little bit of knowledge is enough for us to progress spiritually. We don't need tons of knowledge as such. In due course of time, whatever is needed for us will be revealed. As you would have seen in Bhagavad Gita, step by step, doubts will start getting dispelled. And if you think only when all the questions are answered, then I will take the first step, then it's like your mind is tricking you. It doesn't work that way. Quite a few hands are raised now. Let's take those.
Just one more comment quickly, I'll read it. So Prabhat Bhaiya has said, knowledge, we need the very basic knowledge to progress in spirituality. ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के पढ़े सो पंडित होए.
Very true.
Okay.
Beautiful doha, I said, right? पोथी पढ़ पढ़ जग मुआ पंडित भय न कोई, ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के पढ़े सो पंडित होए. That's very true. It's very profound one.
Okay. Kumar ji and Manisha ji have I hope Harshji, I think
Arshi, I think, is struggling with your audio, so you may have to fix that. But let's move on to Anisha. You had a question, then come to Kamarshi as well.
yes. Radhe Radhe Manisha ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
So I just wanted to share, I have got initiated by Sadhguru from like last 3 years, following his teaching and applied the tools he taught. And after doing the energy-based yoga, I think I got aligned and got the opportunity to come into Bhakti Marg.
Mhm.
So though I have got the Bij mantra when I was around like 6 or 7 years old, and to pursue on Krishna Bhakti only, but maybe I was not aligned and Sadhguru came into my life and
No, that's fine. See,
through, yeah.
you find your calling around it. In fact, Sadhguru, I've heard him say that if you have bhakti, you don't need me. So bhakti is a very deep concept. Sadhguru, the biggest gift to humanity that he has given is he has brought people into the fold of spirituality who don't want to believe in God, right? In that sense,
Yes.
it's very appreciable. But people who then, who are ready for the next leap, who are ready to take Krishna bhakti or bhakti, then you can always step forward on that. But my point was, you don't need a formal initiation as such for that. And Krishna
Okay.
bhakti is very, very durlabh. Durlabh means it's very rare. Not everybody is gifted with that. But if you're feeling that attraction, go for
True.
it. You don't have to worry about it. And there is no
Yeah,
nished.
because
Yeah, please.
actually, Swamiji also told me that it's okay that
Yeah.
because I was like that if I'm having a guru, then should I like continue with him and going ahead into this Bhakti Marg, or I have to like head with some other guru as well if needed. Then he really told that कभी कभी आपकी लाइफ में गुरु आते हैं जो कुछ आपके किसी सर्टेन स्टेज तक आपको ले जाने के लिए आते हैं, एंड देन यू जस्ट उनका जब वहाँ काम हो जाता है देन वो किसी मतलब हायर पर्पस के लिए आपको आगे
Very, very
हैंड
true.
ओवर कर देते हैं.
Very true. And this is how it works, and
So
this is how we have to look at it as well. You may have Guru who's the stepping stone for the next step for you. In fact, in our scriptures, there is no nished. There is no what you call that prohibition from changing gurus as well. But the key condition is it should
yes.
not have negativity towards the previous one for any reason. And that is perfectly okay. When you're ready for the next thing, Guru himself will put you to the next step. So this is how it's meant to be. They don't feel bad, or it's our own understanding around it. They are more than happy if they have led you to something more beautiful and more higher. So this is how we need to look
Yeah,
at it.
because I got emotional that time when I got attracted towards this thing, like then totally into Krishna Bhakti, and then that thing
Very,
was bothering me. So
I'm
that's
saying
why yeah.
you should count your blessing around it, because Krishna Bhakti, getting an attraction towards it is not a small thing. It's a very special thing. So just latch on to it. I would say. And you can pinch yourself. I'm so lucky. That's about it.
That's true.
Very true. Thank you for sharing that, Manisha ji. It's a very important. See, we are going to really go really deep into this topic when we talk about Guru topic. It's a very, very, very deep topic. So we'll spend a good amount of time, 4.34, and talk about all the aspects of Guru disciple relationship. Who's a true Guru? How do we need to find one? What are the symptoms? What if I don't have a Guru? How do I know if he's a true Guru? We'll talk about all these concepts as well. So just hold on to that. We are getting very close to that 4.34 now. Yes, Kumarji, please go ahead.
There is this saying now, when the disciple is ready, master appears.
Disciple is ready, master appears. And when the disciple is truly ready, the master disappears then.
Disappear, exactly. Yeah. Okay, Kumarji, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Shri Ram, everyone.
Shri Ram.
As we all know, we are all in this path of spirituality, right? We might be in different stages, different steps, but we are all. And did it need a Bij mantra? Really not, right? So, if there was a Bij mantra given, probably it was given to us at birth or from the previous birth, who knows? So, for being in spirituality...
Yeah, sorry, finish your thought. Yeah.
Okay, for being in spirituality, we don't need a mantra, but there are certain aspects, like, for example, if you want to take Kriya Yoga or transcendental meditation, There they'll say, we'll give you a Bij Mantra. Again, as someone just explained, even Sadhguru gave it to her, which is fine, right? And then follow it. And then again, as we discussed, at some point of time, you'll be moving to Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga, whichever, okay, whatever. But are we progressing? That's what we need to look at. Again, we should try to stick to one of these things, and getting bhakti. I've tried a lot of things, and everything has helped me. I'm telling you, every one of these spiritual, including Brahma Kumaris and all these stuff. But at the same sometime, I said something is missing here. If I miss bhakti, then there is something missing. So you will need bhakti, because this is Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, Jnana Yoga is very difficult, right? Very difficult to understand, very difficult to implement in our lives. We need to clutch hold of God's feet to even get somewhere. So that's why I think we need that. Do anything you like. Don't feel bad about it. Research everything, and then, but you'll need bhakti at the end of it. This is my experience. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Kumarji. Yes, bhakti with devotion has to be mixed. Other, I think, trap that we need to watch out for is experimenting for our entire life. Okay, it's good to experiment when we are on this path initially. Finally, we have to settle down. If we keep on shopping, right? Guru shopping or spiritual shopping, and that's all. I'm learning from here, I'm learning from there, I'm learning from everywhere, right? That mindset beyond a point could be detrimental to our progress as well. I'll tell you a joke. There were two beggars. They were having a conversation in an evening. They were sitting on a bench and having a conversation. So he said, what happened to you, right? I mean, you've become a bankrupt and a beggar. What happened? He said, you know what? I listened to everybody's advice. Okay. And then he said, by the way, what happened to you? He said, I listened to nobody's advice. So both became beggars. So in this spirituality, it's even more important to listen to somebody's advice and then have that ananyata around it, exclusivity around it. Then you will start getting the water from that well that you have started digging. So it's important to settle down and not have that freelancer mindset. I'm going to get, okay, everybody is my guru, and I'll learn from a snake also, bird also, this person also, that also. This is fine to begin with. But finally, if you're serious about the spirituality beyond a point, is no longer entertainment. It becomes serious business. And if we want to treat it like that, that ananyata is going to take our journey to the next level. Otherwise, we will be scratching the surface and not really getting to the next level. And it'll be a missed opportunity at that point. It's very clearly stated. We'll go more deeper into this concept of ananyata when we get into 4.34. So this is how it typically unfolds.
Okay. Yeah, and also Patanjali Yoga Sutra, I don't think we should, that is something which we need to kind of look at. It's not something very different from what we are pursuing, is what I'm thinking.
So Patanjali Yoga Sutra is Bhakti Yoga in Shant Bhav. If I were to define it in one line, Patanjali Yoga Sutra is fantastic, practical thing. It is Bhakti in Shant Bhav. But we explore all the bhavs here. So we don't necessarily have to limit ourselves to that. But yes, it has a lot of practical tools in our life in that sense. And Swamiji has given a wonderful commentary on that. We have an online session that goes on for that as well. So great. But if we look at it,
yep, thanks.
Where does it fit in the big picture? Big picture, it is bhakti in a shant bhav.
All right, Preeti ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I found I was going to Swadhyaya, which is Karma Yoga. You go to people's home, knock on the door like rishis do, and spread the message of God and all that. And I've been to Chinmaya Mission, Jnana Yoga, but I found Swamiji's Bhakti Yoga to be the easiest. Like, you don't need anything but just a clean heart and to be very close to God. And the experience I have experienced that with Bhakti Marg, I mean, in such a short period, I felt like I've grown so much compared to I did other things for 30 years. And I just feel like I had grown so much with Bhakti Marg in 2 years than I did in 30 years of doing other things. So, I mean, I cannot believe how simple Swamiji has made, and he's definitely my guru, but he really made it so simple. My life has completely turned around. My relationships are so much better. And he explains in such a deep, quick thing, like stop having expectation and judgments. And that's all I applied. And all of a sudden, all the relationship that I had judgments for are gone. So they acted the way they did, but I changed my Najaria, what you call, and it's helped me so much. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, I can't believe how easy it is to practice Bhakti Marg and just love for God and have a clean heart. Oh my God, it's so simple. Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti ji, for sharing that. That's true. We spoke about this concept, right? The entry barrier to bhakti is very low. Everybody is welcome on that path. And bhakti, people consider that it is for people who are less intelligent, right? Who are just doing bhajan kirtan without really understanding. No, actually, you have to, if you get into the Tattva Gyan aspect of it, you'll understand. For you to get to that stage where you can simply do Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe, or whoever your Ishtadev is, if you can do it with conviction, that means you've already crossed all the knowledge milestones. It takes a lot of understanding to get to that point. And bhakti might be easier to begin with, but as you progress, it becomes increasingly difficult because you have to kill that I, that aham, or the pride that we carry. That sense of doership, eventually it starts evaporating. But yes, it's a beautiful path and the most practical path in the age of Kali. And thank you for reiterating that, Preeti ji. And the only way, if I must say that, it's the only way, because even if you're in Gyan Marg or an Ashtang Yog Marg or anything that you do, if you don't mix bhakti with it, it will only give you symptomatic cure. We are still playing in the arena of Maya only. So bhakti is like when you're suffering from fever, and if you're simply taking crocin and paracetamol or ibuprofen, and you are suffering from infection, and because of that you are having a fever, and so bhakti is like that antibiotic who is going to hit at the root cause and remove the cause for that. Other things are more like popping in those pills, which are giving you symptomatic relief, not really curing the cause for it. So the quality of your mind can only be improved to bhakti by devotion to God, by immersing your mind, in God, or his Naam, Roop, Gun, Leela, Dhan, or Kirtan, all that stuff. So that is the only tool to cleanse our mind or to improve its quality. Other things will give you temporary symptomatic reliefs, but not a permanent relief. There's a chakra cleaning also studios now opened up in US. What will they do? They'll clean your chakras. But then they'll get dirty again. The Maya colors will fall upon them again. What are you going to do? How frequently will you clean your chakras? Because you're not hit the root cause yet. Bhakti is the key. Yes, Shalini ji, and then Annapurna ji, and then we can get to our next segment.
There is
Great.
a line, right? Kalyug Keval Naam Adhara.
Kalyug Naam Adhara, yeah. In Kalyug, Harinam Sankirtan is the only way. But if you are very, very adventurous, keep on trying on the other things. Finally, you'll have to do bhakti. I would say if you're smart, focus on bhakti right from the word go. Just make life easy. Just makes your life easy. Yeah. Yes, Shalini ji, you wanted to ask something?
Radhe Radhe Shalini ji, please go ahead.
Yes, Radhe Radhe everyone. Happy Navratri. So I was just, it's a very interesting talk session with Indy. What I was thinking is that faith is like very important. I remember an example when I was very young. So I had a paternal aunt. She was not very well educated, but she was like totally into the bhakti. She would get up in the morning and do her puja and, all the pujas at home, and then she'll start her work. So it's a lot of I've seen the older generation people would do that. They don't have this knowledge that we are studying, but they have like pure faith and pure bhakti. And I think when I was younger, I didn't really understand that. But now I think it makes sense that bhakti marg is the easiest marg, and we just have blind faith in God, whichever God. But I'm not sure if Bead Mantra is needed or not, just faith and pure bhakti. And I think that's an easier path.
Very true. In fact, now as I've, after coming in contact with Swamiji and understanding the deeper nuances of bhakti and getting this wonderful knowledge, little that I could understand, my appreciation for my grandmother, my mother, and the way they would just have faith. They didn't have any knowledge or anything. It grew much more. You just need faith. However, having knowledge it's important too. right? Because if your faith is bereft of knowledge, then it can shake. Then what will happen is, because you just have faith, tomorrow God might show you a carrot in their dream or something like that, or you start getting some city, you'll think I've become God realized. So knowledge is important.
Yes.
Then you're not distracted with the minor things which
Yes,
might
yes.
happen on this path. That
Yes.
is where knowledge.
So we should not wait for knowledge to come. Because knowledge takes time, right? It can take, like for Gita
It
we
will
are
come in
studying,
due
it
course
takes
of
so
time.
much time to fully comprehend it. But I think bhakti is the easiest one. Start with it and gradually,
Very
get
true.
knowledge. And
So what happens in bhakti is, when you get a guru, God will lead you to a guru. They will do the yogakshema along the path. So what they will do is, they will provide for what you need, and they will destroy what you don't need, and they will give you more of what you need, what you don't have. So all those things will start happening. You just focus on bhakti. Great. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Annapurna ji. You wanted to say
And
something?
Harshji has sent his question, if I can read it. Like, he couldn't speak, right? So he's saying, कुछ लोग प्राण की आहुति प्राण में ही देते हैं, लेकिन ऐसा करने से पहले गुरु की संपूर्ण दीक्षा ले लेनी चाहिए। इसमें बहुत खतरा हो सकता है, ऐसा कहा था श्री कृष्ण ने। ये कौन सी दीक्षा की बात कर रहे थे, और मैं वो दीक्षा किससे लूं?
ये श्री कृष्ण ने कहाँ कहा है, आप उसका रेफरेंस अगर हमें दे दें तो थोड़ा आसान हो जाएगा इस प्रश्न का उत्तर प्रदान करना। इसका हमें रेफरेंस का हिंदी हमें नहीं मालूम, भूल रहा हूँ मैं। अगर आप देंगे where it is said in Bhagavad Gita or somewhere else, if you can give me the reference, that will be good. Atmahuti is a very advanced stage. Atmahuti doesn't mean you descend into some fire all by yourself. But if you can tell which scripture you are referring to, where in Bhagavad Gita you are referring to, I can provide you additional context on it. At least I haven't come across this, where Lord Krishna is saying he's definitely talking about a need for a guru. In Bhagavad Gita, we're going to talk about it. But if he's saying about Atmahuti, before Atmahuti, get a guru, he's being very prescriptive about it in context of this. I'm not very sure about it. तो अगर आप उसका reference दे सकते हैं तो it will be good. If you can provide a reference.
Harshji has responded. He's like, हाँ, मैं समाधि में ही रहता हूँ, इसके आगे का मुझे नहीं पता कि क्या करना है. So I guess he can fill in the feedback tracker and there can be an offline conversation.
Sure, I can connect with you. If you can put it in the feedback tracker along with your number, we can have an offline conversation, and then as needed, we can bring it to the session as well. I think I'm kind of getting your question, but please fill it in and we can have an offline conversation on this. I'll give you a quick call. Yes, Annapurna.
And Tarunji says reference is Sandhar.
संदर्भ, इस संदर्भ में, हाँ, इसका अगर आप संदर्भ प्रदान कर देंगे तो बहुत उपयुक्त होगा.
Just last
okay, I'm just using some Hindi words, but I hope you're getting the gist of the conversation we are having right now. So yeah.
And Ramesh Babuji is asking, what is the knowledge that we get bit by doing Bhakti Yoga?
Bit by getting Bhakti Yoga. So it's like this. See, you're looking at a mirror. Who's asked this question?
Ramesh Babuji.
Yeah, Ramesh Babuji. So you're looking at a mirror, right? So that mirror is not revealing you the complete picture of your own self. So as you do bit by bit Bhakti, you're wiping off a layer of dust. It has a lot of layers of dust. When you wipe off one layer, that picture will be more revealed to you. So your knowledge will automatically start shining forth. You remove another layer, more knowledge will get revealed. You need to remove another layer, more knowledge. And when you have removed all the layers of ignorance with God's grace, your soul will shine forth with perfect knowledge. So knowledge will get revealed from within, which is currently covered with a lot of layers of ignorance. Okay, so that is how it works.
Okay, actually, just last one comment from Sudhakarji. Any karma focused to God is bhakti. All other activities are for Maya, for material benefits.
True, very true. When we offer our activities to God, having that consciousness, it is bhakti, because now you are having a union with God at that moment. Other than that, there are only two areas. There's no third area in this world. One is this world and second is God. There's no third area. So if your mind, some people say my mind is not in God. Okay, then they say, but then my mind is not in the world either. Not possible. It can never be in a pending state. It's either in world or in God. If it's in God, that becomes bhakti. And if it is in world, it becomes bhakti. At that moment, you're just doing it for your own self.
Okay, Annapurna ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Annapurna ji.
You know, oh, unmuted. Okay. I just want to say, you know, I can give my own example. You know, now that I have the Guru, and through Guru, I have learned so much knowledge about the God. You know, we knew that, you know, now he has tested that all our capabilities and our consciousness, everything is given to us. That is why we are, you know, working as a human beings, you know, without consciousness. All the importance of God, and then our relationship with God and purpose of our life, why we have born here, that itself is enough for you to, you know, and also the benefits that you derive by, you know, following, being a servant to God, you know, that itself really has intensified my devotion for God. I think, you know, you don't have to read many literatures and everything. One guru who can guide you this way and tell you all the advantages that you reap and what comes with you when you die and how you can elevate yourself, you know, how you can evolve. I think that itself is enough for anybody, you know, to build up a strong devotion towards God. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful point, Annapurna ji. Very true. See, it's just about contemplating and believing in that knowledge. It's like if, let's say, there are some precious stones or diamonds or whatever you care for lying in front of you, you would go in an overdrive mode to collect it and start filling your pockets with it, right? Because you value that. You think it is going to help me in some form or manner. Now here the spiritual wisdom is actually like a wealth, like you just have to keep collecting it because this is the only wealth we are going to carry forward, right? And that wealth is not something that is going to diminish or will be subject to the laws of what do you call that, taxation or anything of that sort. Nothing. It's all for you. That's it. You keep filling up your coffers of spiritual wealth and keep becoming millionaire, billionaire, trillionaires and enjoy it for eternity, right? Every day you can keep on collecting that jewels. It's such a beautiful journey. Everything to gain, nothing to lose actually, if you think about it. That's a huge opportunity God has given. And what is he willing to give us? He's willing to make us like him. That is the final goal. You become like God, you know, perpetual bliss, perfect knowledge, and ever increasing, ever fresh, you know, that possibility itself is so exciting. So even if that says, if you look at it, we have so much to gain every day, every moment of our life. And having a guru, odds of getting a guru like we have is less than finding a log when you are dying or drowning in an ocean. You may find a log or a small piece of wood to hang on to. The probability of finding that in an ocean is much higher than finding a guru. And even after getting a guru, if we cannot make real fast progress, then what a loss kind of a deal, right? So it's like a lot of things are going for us in that sense. So we are super fortunate in that sense.
Kumarji's comment, after bit by bit, you get a bite of bhakti.
Super bite, yeah. Gigabyte of bhakti for sure. All right. Okay, so great discussion. Do we want to move on to our last segment? I know we have
Seva scoreboard. It's Sunday. We are already very late with that.
Let's show the Seva board scoreboard, and then maybe one or two hands we can take real quick. Yes, go ahead, Sandhya.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we
So
splitting Anita ji's scores across the teams today?
Anita ji is not feeling these days. She's like, let the kids play sort of.
Yeah, it was like, what do you call that? People are fighting with swords and knives while she had some nukes, right? That's how it seemed like. But yeah, I would like and encourage Anita ji, if you are there, to put in your score so that we can equally distribute across all the teams. Yes, go ahead. Look at our score tracker.
Yes, so it's for the last 7 days, and great that we can see all the 4 teams here. That's wonderful. Everyone has, I mean, all the teams are represented here. So some or the other people have been filling it, which is amazing. Topmost is enthusiastic with a very big margin, actually. So cheers to you guys. I see that enthusiastic team members are kind of leading everywhere. Komal ji, Kavita, Monica, yeah, these people, I see their names. Prashasti ji also. That's great. Then Vinamra team, as usual, lots of members. Prabhat Bhaiya, Urvi, Rupa ji, Lakshmi ji, Swati ji. Selfless team, Shamji is now very consistent, as we can see. Jyoti is there.
Shamji, great
Shefali
going.
has also been, huh?
Shamji, great going.
Yeah. So
Yes,
selfless team is an Ananya team is now, like last week they were not here and this week they are here, which is great. Purva ji has filled it, I think alone, but I don't, yeah. So great. Cheers to everyone. Keep it up. I see lots of 500s also coming in. So yeah, just to add, some people, I think Abha ji had asked, is there a possibility of doing remote seva? Yes, lots of people who are attending the classes and are part of this seva teams are all doing remote sevas only. So you can also, so please fill in the feedback tracker. And yeah.
Shamji, you need to make a pitch for your team, okay? Monica ji is going to take everybody, otherwise an enthusiastic team. Get active very quickly. Other team.
Yeah, all the other team leads, please do that. Otherwise, there's going to be huge discrepancy.
We have one of the captain who's on a hiring spree all the time. So you need to get active for your teams now. Yes, Shamji, you wanted to say something before we move to the devotional segment?
Shamji, you want to say something?
Radhe, Radhe. Yes, I just wanted to say that maybe we also will follow Monika ji one day. The way she is going, it's okay. Yes, Radhe,
Like
Radhe.
any name comes up, Monica ji is like. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's good to see everybody putting in, their scores and everything. So it's good to get into a habit of doing that seva, like, share, comment. And if you are not finding enough posts, you should speak to Meenuji. Okay, you will never be short of excitement with Facebook posts and other posts. And I don't know where she gets so many posts, but there is no post in JKO which does not go through Meenuji. So please get in touch with her, help her spread the word around. Let's do our bit, whatever we can do, all of us, to spread this word and around. And it's a little seva we can do for Swamiji from our side.
Perfect said. Like Meenuji create awareness about anything and everything that happens in JK Yoga. And hats off to you. Thanks to you for that.
And Meenuji, even though we are in Dallas, she keeps on sending us Dallas posts also that this is happening in Dallas. Very, very precise. Yes, Meenuji, you wanted to say something?
Meenuji wants to sing today.
She wanted to sing today, but are they all singing now? Arnima
I am not sure. I don't think Arnima Di and Monica Di don't want to
We
sing.
had some questions, so then we can get to singing later. Let's hear those questions. Arnima wants to say something. Sudhakar ji.
Yeah, Radhe, Radhe.
God, so many
Radhe.
lot of hands have come now.
Sorry, I don't have a question. I just wanted to mention that we still have 2 weeks for Diwali Mela and that audio is there. If you create a reel, you will get the extra points for your team. Shyamji, I'm really waiting for you.
Here is your video.
Shefali, we should also be adding those points. Like that will give you a lot of points.
Shyamji, where is your video? We're still waiting for it. Can you please?
Yeah, your baal lehrate wali video.
We are waiting for you. Please make out time and send it out to us. Okay, we want to make a buzz. And you will be the first guy who will be making that video. And then
Yes.
I'm motivated to do it after you. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay.
David, if you want to do that, everybody is welcome to do that. Okay, Michelle, Manishi, Laddu. By the way, Seema Singh is the only person who has got 35K views on her short. Okay, nobody else has gotten it. Okay, and that is here, 35K.
YouTube.
All right, let's hear now from, I think, Meenuji, are you going to sing today? So
Monica D wants to. Yeah, Meenuji is going to sing. Monica D wants to say something, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, Radhe Radhe.
Yeah.
Your points will not count, Sunday, because you're not in any other team.
Not
So-
me, Chef Ali. We are
so half point there.
Yeah.
Kidding. Okay, I just wanted to remind everybody of the reel, please. We are just 2 weeks away, and then that audio will not be useful after November 4th, right? So please make the reel. For Abhaji, I can post. I mean, I can share all. I mean, Komalji already has it, but I'll share all the possible links where you can like, share, and comment. So at least press the bell
Abhaji-
icon and start with your seva.
We'll add her to one of the teams, not enthusiastic.
No,
but...
that is okay. I just wanted it to start happening quickly. That's it. She can
that's
decide.
why right.
Mhm.
I actually have told her. She's putting her name in the feedback tracker, and we'll connect with her and take it
Yeah.
forward.
And Avaji, if you want to join enthusiastic, that's also fun.
Okay.
Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Chikki, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Okay, so I found this kavita on Instagram. कृष्ण उठत कृष्ण चलत कृष्ण श्याम भोर है, कृष्ण बुद्धि कृष्ण चित्त कृष्ण मन विभोर है, कृष्ण रात्रि कृष्ण दिवस कृष्ण स्वप्न शयन है, कृष्ण काल कृष्ण कला कृष्ण मास आयन है, कृष्ण शब्द कृष्ण अर्थ कृष्ण ही परमार्थ है, कृष्ण कर्म कृष्ण भाग्य कृष्ण ही पुरुषार्थ है, कृष्ण स्नेह कृष्ण राग कृष्ण ही अनुराग है, कृष्ण कली कृष्ण कुसुम कृष्ण ही पराग है, कृष्ण भोग कृष्ण त्याग कृष्ण तत्व ज्ञान है, कृष्ण भक्ति कृष्ण प्रेम कृष्ण ही विज्ञान है, कृष्ण स्वर्ग कृष्ण मोक्ष कृष्ण परम साध्य है, कृष्ण जीव कृष्ण ब्रह्म कृष्ण ही आराध्य है. राधे राधे.
Very nice. Please post it as well if you can on the CIC group or somewhere. It's very nice. Thank you for reciting.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Yes, Meenuji, all yours.
Yes. Radhe Radhe, Meenuji.
Great session, and I want to, all of you are doing great seva, great job, and I just want to say that I'm trying to do a selfless seva for Hari Guruji by spreading the word throughout the world. I'm not a IT person, but I'm try to I try to share everything, because Maharaji said if anybody comes to the path by reading your post, it's a very big seva. So that's why I keep doing it and keep sending it. I would appreciate if everybody takes a time and just like it, comment it, and share it, so that the post stays on the top, and the whole world, how Swamiji and Maharaji has worked so hard, so the post stays on the top.
Thank you, Meenuji, for your selfless, relentless seva. Sharing is caring. Meenuji's oversharing is overcaring. Okay, so please help in whatever way. She is very awesome, basically, when it comes to sharing posts and creating an awareness, and she does it very, very diligently. So thank you, Meenuji, for all that. And
thank you. Today I'm going to sing Punjabi Pad Kirtan, and I dedicate this to Jagat Guru Kripalu Mahaprabhu and Swami Mukundanand ji. लिखन वालिया तो हो के दयाल लिख दे, मेरे दिल विच गुरां दा प्यार लिख दे, लिखन वालिया तो हो के दयाल लिख दे, मेरे दिल विच गुरां दा प्यार लिख दे, सिर उते लिख दे हाथ गुरां दा, सिर उते लिख दे हाथ गुरां दा, अखां विच गुरां दा दीदार लिख दे, मेरे दिल विच गुरां दा प्यार लिख दे, हत्थां उते लिख दे सेवा गुरां दी, हत्थां उते लिख दे सेवा गुरां दी, दिल विच दिल दा दिलदार लिख दे, मेरे दिल विच गुरां दा प्यार लिख दे, पैरां उते लिख दे सतसंग जाना, पैरां उते लिख दे सतसंग जाना, मेरा तन मन गुरां उत्ते वार लिख दे, मेरे दिल विच गुरां दा प्यार लिख दे। एक ना लिखी मेरे गुरां दा विछोड़ा, एक ना लिखी मेरे गुरां दा विछोड़ा, होर चाहे दुखां दा पहाड़ लिख दे, मेरे दिल विच गुरां दा प्यार लिख दे। लिखन वालिया तू हो के दयाल लिख दे, मेरे दिल विच गुरां दा प्यार लिख दे। राधे राधे।
Radhe Radhe Meenu ji, very nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful bhajan. And thank you for singing it in our session. Loved it. So for the okay, I think it was a beautiful bhajan. So thank you so much, Meenu ji. What this bhajan means is that we are praying to God that He. Okay, it's very difficult for me to translate that. That write the love for God in our heart. If you had that power, we are praying to the Almighty that just imbibe it in our heart. And if our feet were to go anywhere, it should be towards the temple of God. And if our heart were to move somewhere, it should be towards God, right? So those kind of prayers are there. Very beautiful bhajan. Thank you, very nicely sung. Okay, so Manisha ji, are you going to sing as well? I was reading through. By the way, who is this K.R. Ramesh Babu? It looks like some actor South. So if you can please announce yourself or come on video, it'll be nice. Although if I were to call out who that person is, I may be able to tell who that person is, but I will not take a wild guess. I would let K.R. Ramesh Babu please unmute
Here,
your
Ramesh Babuji, I see. Yeah.
K.R. Ramesh Babu, if you can please unmute yourself or come on video.
Unmuted. Unmuted.
Let's have them come on that. I think K.R. Ramesh Babu seems to be in some kind of a uneasiness related to session or something. So I would like to hear from you what's going on. I think it's related to the topic we spoke about today, that subjective versus objective reality. So Ramesh Babuji, if you can please come with your name and turn on your video, really appreciate that. In the meantime, let's move on to Manisha ji.
Okay. Manisha ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Manisha ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Yeah, yesterday I heard few lines on Instagram which I want to share. Yeah, it's अर्जुन कृष्ण से कहते हैं, तू 84 के चक्कर में कितनी योनि में जन्म लिया, मैं परम पौरुष अविनाशी ना जन्मा मरा न भोग किया, तेरे सब जन्मों का मैं ज्ञाता पर तुझे खबर ना मैं कौन मैं क्या, तो कहता जो वैसा तू कर मुझ माधव की अनुकंपा पा, सब धर्म कर्म को छोड़ पार्थ मुझ कृष्ण शरण में तू आ जा, मैं नष्ट करूं सब पाप तेरे मेरी बाह पकड़ मुक्ति पा जा, ना विद्युत सूर्य चंद्र तारे, ना विद्युत सूर्य चंद्र तारे, फिर भी मैं अकुत उजाला हूँ, वहां जाकर कोई ना लौटे मैं जहां का रहने वाला हूँ, है धाम परम आनंद परम प्रकाश परम सुख है हर पल, आ शरण मेरी मेरा सेवक बन उस परम धाम को अर्जुन जय। राधे राधे।
Thank you, Manisha ji. Loved it. Very nice.
Beautiful.
Very nice. And I'm so glad you building that hook to Lord Krishna, right? So very, very nice. And thank you for the beautiful recitation. Yes, Swati ji, you wanted to go next?
Yes, Radhe Radhe, Swati ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. I'll sing just 2 lines. Okay. प्यारो लगे नंद लाला हमें तो बड़ो प्यारो लगे, प्यारो लगे नंद लाला हमें तो बड़ो प्यारो लगे, शीश मुकुट अरु तिलक विराजे, शीश मुकुट अरु तिलक विराजे, गले बैजंती माला हमें तो बड़ो प्यारो लगे, प्यारो लगे नंद लाला हमें तो बड़ो प्यारो लगे, छैल छबीलो रसिक रंगीलो, छैल छबीलो रसिक रंगीलो, मोहन मुरली वाला हमें तो बड़ो प्यारो लगे, प्यारो लगे नंद लाला हमें तो बड़ो प्यारो लगे।
Thank you, Radhe Radhe. And I would like to sing Guru Bhajan on the Guru Purnima day. I will पहले से book कर रही हूँ मैं, that I will be singing on that day. Okay, thank you, Radhe Radhe. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Beautiful bhajan, short and sweet like always. Great. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. We'll continue on our fascinating discussion on the same shloka, some more aspects to be covered in tomorrow and possibly day after discussion as well. So stay tuned and please, KR, please introduce yourself, Akash Sharma. So yeah, KR Moish Babu is, I think, sending messages to others as well. I don't know what KR Ramesh Babuji is up to. So KR Ramesh Babu, if you are there, if you can come on video and audio, I think we'll appreciate it. If you'll not come, then we'll make out, I don't know. So we are getting some weird messages from somebody here. If you're having some trouble, then please let us know in the feedback tracker. That will get addressed. But it would be good if you can announce yourself, talk to us openly in front of everybody, or turn on your video. That will be helpful. If not, then that's perfectly okay as well. But regardless, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So Radhe Radhe, thank you from my side, and thank you for your enthusiastic participation. Those of you who filled out the feedback tracker for the Seva, I'll patch you in with. The required people will get in touch with you for the app related work. If you don't hear back, do let me know. And then there's another Harshji. If you have filled out the feedback tracker, I'll get in touch with you for the specific question that you had. So thank you, everybody. Radhe Radhe. Good night. Good day from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Radhe Radhe. Yeah.
Radhe Radhe. Good night. Good day.